Hi, this is Ryan Raven. Today we're playing Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls, Season 30 in the PTR. Went over the gifts and themes, and then conquest, obviously. So, the Haedrig gifts, for completing Chapter 4. For Demon Hunter, you get Embodiment of the Marauder, which is, the pet build sentries. They did nerf it with this patch that's going to be coming up. It does have an easier set dungeon. Next up is Barb with Legacy of Raker, with its Ethereous Charge, Weapon Throw, Ancient Spear. Wizard gets Desiree's Magnum Opus, which is slow time and increases Arcane Orb, Energy Twister, blah blah blah. Witch Doctor gets Zunamasa's Haunt, which is Fetish Army, and enemies hit by your mana spenders take 13,000% from your pets for 8 seconds. Monk gets Anna's Mantra. Of course, that's Mystic Allies. Yeah. Crusader gets Armor of Akon, which looks like Felix avatars. And then why Accurate Champion's active, you do 1,500% increased damage and take 50% less damage. Necro gets Pestilence, Master's Shroud, which is Bone Spirit Corpse, Lamps, and Corpse Explosion. And then each corpse you consume grants you an empowered Bone Spear charge that increases the damage of your next Bone Spear by 6,000%. And in addition, Corpse Lamps and Corpse Explosion damage is increased by 6,000%. Pretty good build. And is that it? I swear they always feel like a... That's it. Alright. I feel like there's always one more class that's missing, but I forgot there's less classes in D3. Alright, the conquest is Speed Demon, which is for the softcore version, which is to do a Nathrian Rift at next level at Torment 10 or higher within 2 minutes. Obviously, this is really easy to do once you're able to do T16, but say you do T10. The trick is you need to do a Rift. Remember, it's a Rift. I would suggest doing it on T10 just because it can count on higher Torment levels, but it might take you a tad longer. Depends how fast your build is. But the trick is to try to get an open map or highly densely map that you can still fly through, kill the enemies. But the trick is not to pick up every loot that drops. Only pick, like, don't worry about your basic mats, like your whites, yellows, and blues. Only pick up legendaries if you think you need it. Normally, I don't pick up orange legendaries, but if a primal drops, of course, if you unlocked, you did GR70 solo, I'll pick that up. And green sets. Sometimes if I see one drop, I'm not worried about it. It's only a multiple drop, and that's if they're close, like, and if they're on the path where I'm going to. But sometimes when you defeat things that might be behind you, you're trying to go, right, and they're to the left. And of course, don't open up any chests or anything like that, or try not to break vases and stuff that might drop something. So you're not dropping legendaries on the ground. You want to go pick it up. And of course, same thing. Need for Speed is the hardcore version of T10, reps in 2 minutes. On a good day, is level 3 gems, still 65, which you're naturally going to do as you level up and you progress through the season journey. There is a way with Whispers, with Petrified Screams, which opens up Echoing Nightmares, that traps Whisper Atonement, and it's based on the wave level you beat. So if you beat level 125, so you're on level 126, you'll get 125 Whisper Atonement, which is the highest you can get, even if you hit 150. And those will count towards it. If it's not, So you get 3 of them. Or say you have 2 of them in a gem that's at least level 65. This level a gem, if sample, say you got the Whisper after you leveled up a gem, I know that's usually how it is, that level up any gem, even a level 0 gem, make it level 1. Of course, I'll probably do level 14, make it level, to increase my chances for it going up. That, and we get level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, if you empower it. This level any other regular gem up, and it should give you that achievement with your whispers. And of course, same thing on hardcore. Boss mode is defeat all the enemies on T10 or higher within 20 minutes at the start of the game. So remember, you can't be in the game and then try to go do it. You have to, when you hit start your timer. That point over here, if I hit start game, I have 20 minutes to do it. And that's to defeat the last boss. And remember, sometimes there are death animations, like, say, Nathal. That extra 30 seconds, keep that in mind. The trick normally is what I do in a group. You can do it solo if you have a fast build, but group, everyone, normally we start in the same act. We start in Act 5, then do Act 4, Act 3, 2, 1. Because the lower levels have, like, Skeleton Kings are easy to get to. Zoltan Cool, you just warp right to it. Some other ones that are not that far. The hardest bosses to find, unless you get it as a boss bounty and it tells you where to go, is Orzil with a U. I say that because Izil with an I. I might be saying it wrong. The one with the U. He spawns in the middle of the map. You spawn over here. It could be along, or it could be you spawn over here. The middle map's over this way, or it could be way up here or way down here. You don't know where the middle of the map is. Sometimes you have to go all the way out for the path and find him in the middle. He's hard to find. Adria, also on Act 5, is with all the doors and a lot of dead ends. Sometimes finding that to get to her takes a bit. So that's usually why I say start with those, because you see that, hey, we wasted over 10 minutes on Act 5 and maybe Act 4 bosses. We might as well just, cut tail and run, start a new game. If you want to finish this for practice, by all means, but if you think you're taking too much time, start a new game. And of course, the same thing on hardcore. And then also the trick with that, if you're doing it within a group, is you all go to the boss, find them, and then as each person finds a boss, it's called marking, you teleport town. So regardless if you give warp or teleport to a player, you still have that portal in town to go back to. So then once everyone finds the bosses, you say whoever the slowest, normally, they're the last ones to find the boss. So just go ahead and go into it, and it will act if you want to go in. Remember, to get the achievement, you have to go in. You can't just be in the game. You have to go in. I don't think you haven't hit it. You just have to go into the boss battle. And then once you're done, the next person, either you go to town, but don't hit your T, which is portal, or hit your portal icon. That will make a new portal, and you lost where your boss was. Hit M for map, and then choose where you want to go. However, if you, like I said, if you have another person, you're ready to go, unless you're the person, have them just go to it. They'll activate the boss. They'll say, do you want to join? You hit accept. You have to even teleport anywhere. You'll teleport directly into that boss battle. Then, example, now it's your turn. At the end of that boss, you hit map, go to town, find the portal in town, go into it. You're at the boss. Unproc it. And so I want to hit accept. So remember that each waiting on a person to hit accept adds a little bit of time, but it's faster than if everyone followed each other, because then you get to find the next zone. Everyone normally is grouped up. Some of the maps you still are tunneled. You're still going through the same corridors to get to the end. That might split. So most of you are grouped up. It's a waste of time. Someone else could have found another boss for you. And of course, some bosses are easy. You know where they are, like Zoom Cole, Skeleton King. You know where Magda is. You know where Azmodan is. Who's the one in the tower? She's a couple levels down. You know the path, but still takes a while. So that's why I said you want to do those bosses, like going in those acts from 5 down to 1, just so, because the higher ones have the longest distance. and armor might be hard to find. And of course, same thing in hardcore mode. Great Divinity, which is to reach greater with level 75 solo. You naturally want to hit level 70 solo to unlock primals. So 75 is not too much harder. If it is, just level up some more, find a better piece of gear, or find the missing piece you're looking for. I know easier said than done, but you'll get it. I mean, you can always group up to do the higher tournaments to get the Paragon. For example, your buddy can do GR90s, but remember, you get to do 75 solo yourself. So, get the experience, get the rewards, and then go back later and do it if you want. It's not that you have to do it right away. And then same thing in hardcore. Curses is to kill 350 or more monsters in a cursed chest. Event at level 70 on tournament 10 difficulty or higher. See, a lot of T10 stuff, huh? It is. You don't want one that has a wave like wave of 5. You want one that says to defeat 100. And then the best one is Cursed Pete, which is in Act 5. I always want to say it's Ruins of Corvus, but I could be wrong. It's an open map. That might be the other one. It's that Battlefields. It's another name. I should have looked it up. But basically, you're looking for a giant tower altar. It has steps and a path going up to it. It has a cursed chest at the top. Let's always defeat 100. Of course, the trick is to clear as fast as possible. So on those ones, the enemies spawn faster and faster as you do it. If you get one, it's called Lords of Hell. That it's the same tile set. The only difference is there's Elite at the bottom, not just Elite sitting there. It will jump up the tower or the path or altar, we want to call it. That one, it's the same, like I said, tile set. So that's not it. And at the top would not be a cursed chest. Bowels of whatever, and I think it's Act 3. It has fire pits around it. Some of them, not all cursed chests are equal, because a lot of them, the enemy spawn rate is so slow that between, even though it's not a wave one, they spawn in waves. And then in order for the next wave to spawn, you can defeat so many of them, and certain ones you get to clear the whole, all of them, clear the screen, and then the next wave will spawn instantly. And some other ones still have a timer. That's why I said there's a couple of them that are pretty good to do, like Cursed Pete and the other one. That one's pretty easy for a demon hunter or a monk that can group them up. Like Diablo Demon Hunter's UE. It's a little harder to do on the Gear of the Dreadlands set. Marauder, if you throw out your turrets, you probably could do it. Just throw them at different areas, like on the edge of the screen, you stay in the middle, and then they'll fire when you do, and they'll fire towards the center of the screen, killing everything in its path. Okay. We don't know about this stuff. I was looking for chapter 4, but okay. We're going to go ahead and create a seasoned character. This will show you in here. If I can remember how to do it. Switch hero. Create. Just because I know it better. It doesn't matter. I'm playing in PTR. It doesn't matter if I'm playing solo or not. Season is because season you can group. Solo you can't. And of course hardcore is permanent death. Where a season not clicked, for example, that's permanent death. That is, and I can get defeated as many times as I want. There's a penalty for it. But you can't revive at your spot. Eventually, you have to go back to the last checkpoint. But it's not permanent death. Because I have so many of these. And then accept and make sure it has one season. Okay. I'm going to pick adventure mode. It doesn't matter. I want to pick hard because every time I pick expert, it does. I tend to get defeated quickly. We're going to create a game. And the normal strategies, I'm going over the season stuff, but strategy is to grab your follower's weapon. There's a catch-22 to that with leveling and stuff because you have to decide whether. Let me talk about this first. All right, so this is Enmity is back, so that was last season. Go anywhere but in a rift or greater rift. When you defeat X amount of monsters, RNG on the number, a portal will spawn that will let you go into it, and there's like little segments of towns or areas, and even at low level, you can get death breaths. There's levels with greater rift guardians in it that will drop your greater rift keys. So even for level 70, you can get greater rift keys. That's a note to keep in mind for the altar. We have soul shards, which was a season 25 theme. Soul shards drop below level 70 by defeating uh, any boss in the game. Not Greg Whipguard and stuff. I think they spawn there too, but like Skeleton King or Zone Cole, they can drop below level 70. However, Hellforged Embers only drop on a level 70 game. Meaning you probably level 72 in case you're getting power leveled. But they drop from, once again, from Rift bosses, or bosses. They do drop from Rift Guardian Rift, Greater GR, Greater Rift bosses too. But that's usually how you want to farm them. But I guess they can't spawn from any boss. But I know for sure Soul Shards drop from like the Act 1 through 5 bosses, except for Vidian. And then of course you have Altar of Rights. Unfortunately, I started doing a video before, so I have some of this done. I tried the best not to have everything complete, but I do have the first one done. Because for the first part of the altar, you have catch-22s. Like, there's a bunch of stuff here. For the altar, and we do not know that we know altars return in this season. What we don't know, and we know it comes from non-season, is whether or not altars will be unlocked for season, even if you do it in non-season. Example, when the patch hits, you do your altar to get done. Will it be available then in season when it hits? Example, say in that week, or probably in 3 days from that. Usually a patch and then season starts like 3 days later. Adam Fletcher did say, will altars carry over to non-season? I presume yes, but wanted to check, and Adam Fletcher said yes. What we don't know is what they meant by that, is because when a season ends, your gear and stuff is mailed to your non-season. Any progress on a character goes with that character. Example, say it was doing any achievements that got in season, which if it didn't, I don't know if you check it in that season. But say they're doing campaign mode, which you don't have to do because you don't have to do it for either non-season or season now to play adventure mode. You just have to have Reaper of Souls, the expansion. That we don't know whether where I can assume from that is the altar progress will go back to non-season. That's the way the cube recipe stuff does. If your cube recipes in non-season doesn't go to season, you have to find them all over again. But any items you find that's in the queue that you do not have in non-season goes to non-season. Of course, this goes per game mode, whether it's softcore or hardcore. And we also don't know if it does go forward. We know the progress in PTR from last season's PTR and this one, that the season journey is tracked separately for a solo, say, softcore character, season softcore character, and say a season solo self fund or found fund, whatever it happens to be, SSF character. They're tracked differently but the rewards are, say, retroactive or whatever. If you do it in, season softcore, you can't get the Haedrig gift in season solo soft fund. And then vice versa, if you do it in solo soft fund, you can't get it in season softcore. And then, of course, hardcore has its own track between hardcore, season hardcore, and hardcore solo soft fund. I don't have to say season on that because solo soft fund's only season as of right now, until they change it. But if you want to say season hardcore solo soft fund, you can, but they don't put season in front of it. It's my main credit character. So the progress we know will probably go back, but we don't know whether progress from non-season goes to season, because typically any transmogs, key recipes, even I think on character progress and campaign, it doesn't go with it to the season because it makes it level 1 and resets all that. But when it comes back, it may or may not have that campaign progress because it recognized that as that it had it beforehand, regardless if we didn't see it or not. There's a thing with that. Some people say it does, and some people say it don't. If because it was reset when you made a season character on a rebirth. If of course you delete and make room, make a new character entirely, you've lost all that progress permanently, regardless. Okay, so let's go to Soul Shards. You have, I should have done this, and once again, I know there's going to be an ad, that there are 7 Soul Shards that can be found. There is 4 ones for the weapons and 3 for the helms. So remember, this item cannot be buffed by Broken Crown or a Lyric's Crown. You know, Lyric's Crown, regardless of your follower or not, it goes by the gem in your helm on your character, on that character, not what's on the follower's helm. That it only works for the color gems, the red, the orange, the green, the white, the purple. Like example, white's cooldown, red is experience. Even though these will give you the benefit of having at level 1 all of colored gems in it, and it could be better. For example, crit hit chance, see how it says 130 to 150, and I think it's 120 for a regular, the best gem you can put in for a green gem. So it's going to roll higher. But, for example, say the XP gem or the cooldown one, it will not buff it because the color gem's not actually socketed into the Lyric's Crown. And of course, Broken Crown wants a color gem in to drop more of that same color. A Soul Shard doesn't have a color associated with it, so it does not work. Even though it gives you all the buffs for all colors, it does not count for one color. If that makes any sense. Okay, so Dragon of Lies. I think I'm going to cut through all these. Basically, it has a level 0. It gives you a base stat. As you level up, it adds level 1, for example, gives you all the color gems on it. I think it gives the power right out the way. Or, that where it says you deal 25% less damage. And then as level 3, then you get 1 of the 3 powers, and I think it does buff, like, whatever these magic properties are in here. It adds to it. I think that's how it worked. Just remember, let's do this. Okay, Dragon Lies. So basically, it is you deal 25% less damage, but your pets deal 25% increased damage. And then you have a random power. Your pet hits an enemy, damage is increased by 5% for 5 seconds. The stack up to 100 times, and it hits 100 stacks, so stack resets at 0. Of course, 100 does something, or that 100 stacks is what, times 0.5. Enemy receive a fatal damage, spawn a shadow that prevents your death, or kill an elite enemy reduces all your active cooldowns by 5 seconds. So anyone with a lot of cooldowns is pretty handy. And that's one Essence of Anguish. every time you deal poison damage, and it blah blah blah. The thing is, certain classes have poison damage, like Necros. Demon Hunters do not have poison damage. So, normally you have element damage on your rings and amulets, right? People call it neck, but amulet. Where you want, 20% fire damage. Example, say I was playing UA multi-shot, which is fire. If I was playing something cold, I want cold damage. That there is no poison. And what that does is you use a skill, doesn't matter what your weapon says, but say a weapon has a roll, example, I forget the number, but say it's 1200, damage. And it could be 1200 fire, 1200 lightning. What you need to do for this to work on a Demon Hunter is to roll it as poison. Of course, your skill would use your element damage, and this adds additional damage to it by what's rolled on there, but it is not buffed by your element damage. Yeah, but like your fire. Even if it is fire damage, they're tracked separately. Once I think it adds damage on top of your element damage. So it neither one poison. Uh, and then of course your movement speed and cooldown is up to 15 times by dealing poison damage. When you deal poison damage to an enemy, they receive 50% increased poison damage from all sources for 10 seconds. So it adds matter if you use cold or fire, they still take that 50% damage. When you critically hit enemy, increase the attack speed of all players by 5%. So notice it was buffing for two of them, at least poison. So if you don't roll poison on a Demon Hunter on your weapon, example, say that first one says like 2 to 300 damage, right? Turns out that was a weapon. It normally it's higher. It needs to say poison damage. If it says lightning damage or fire damage, it does not. Access of angles won't work. It isn't going to work. For the two plays for the first top, but you can't see me pointing to. Every time you deal poison damage, it won't work. And then the one at the bottom where it says if you deal with 50% increased poison, this flat out won't work. Remnant of Pain, when you critically hit, chance is reduced by 15%. Attacks against incapacitated enemies are automatically critical hits. It's like if they're stunned. I think frozen counts. And then, of course, buff the three different powers from that would be hit enemies with cold damage, has a 50% chance to freeze them, and then cold and damage is increased to frozen targets by 20%. Yeah, so it is cold or frozen. Gain passability while your movement speed bonus is over 50%. When you move through enemies, you knock them back and stun them for 2 seconds, so stun would work too. Like I said, stun. Passability, see some of that. If you don't have movement speed, which Season Paragon really nerfed it. It's like was it 0.0 something now? That you possibilities in the altar. You're unhindered through moving through enemies. So that one may or may not be as good for the power. And then the last one is when you critically hit an enemy, you increase attack speed for all players. I think I said that. Saint of Sam. You'll do 25% less damage, but when you kill 50 enemies, you spawn a pool of blood that increases damage done to elite enemies by 150% and lasts 15 seconds. Power 1 is that pool now negates elite attacks within its area. For example, say they throw an arcane orb. I think the lightning counts as long as you're standing in the pool. It won't hurt you. Or you could get another Rift Progress orb, which, remember, it adds 1, and then the altar has 1 that adds 1. So this, and then the pool now collects Rift Progress orbs. So if the progress orbs are within the pool, it picks it up. And of course, the altar has 1 where it auto pick up in a certain radius, which I think is based on your. Is it gold that has the higher pickup radius now? The gold one and your paragon points. All right, now for the ones for their helm, Fragment of Destruction. You move 100 through enemies. Once again, there's one for the altar. Each enemy you pass through receives a marker of destruction for 7 seconds. Each enemy that dies removes 1 second off one of your skills cooldown. If the mark destruction expires before the enemy dies, you lose 2% of all your maximum health as damage. Marks are not applied if you're below 35% health. So it can knock you down. So yeah, remember sometimes how that staggers. If it goes to trigger, there was a bug with this, I think, that, or if you have that gem that staggers your damage, that technically it's saying it knew you were above 35, so you're at 36. It triggers, and then you went down. It's still in the process of triggering, so it will knock you down below 35% health. It's a rare use case, because most of the time you're at 50, you get knocked down, you know, or you get knocked down to 33, it won't trigger at all. Unless it happens to be triggered at the same time you get knocked down. Remember, there's multiple enemies on the screen. That if it was an active triggering, it will still trigger. Random powers are you have 25% chance to restore 5% health when an enemy dies with a mark of destruction. You apply a mark of destruction to an enemy, you increase your movement speed by 5% for 7 seconds. You now leave a trail of fire. And I can't read it all. I know if I go down, it's gonna see if it does that. Yeah, it's so cut off. Better below 10%. I can get it right at the edge. Yeah. Shard of Hatred. You do 15% reduced damage while you have 3 or few enemies within 25 yards. There are some things that just got buffed to 10 enemies, but so this one's still 3. If the more than 3 enemies were within the same distance, you do a 5% increased damage per enemy to a maximum of 50%. Power could be you get 10% increased damage for every enemy instead of 5% to a maximum of 100%. Killing an elite enemy pulls all enemies within 40 yards to where the elite died. So if it's helpful. For example, the Demon Hunter, we want to away from us for most of our skills. So when the elite dies, they'll pull all the remaining monsters, regardless if they're towards us or not, obviously within a certain radius, pull back to where the elite died. So now they're, say, at our max distance now, and we get our buffs to delete them. And of course, if you're, say, a monk or someone who's right up on them, they'll pull all the enemies like a vacuum to you, because that's where the elite died at, and they're at the location you want them at, regardless of what scenario it is. And when your movement speed is increased by 50%, each enemy within 25 yards reduces your movement speed by 10%, up to 70%. Silver Terror. Your cooldowns are increased by 25%. For every skill on cooldown, you take 12.5% reduced damage and deal 12.5% increased damage. So obviously, ones like Monk and some other classes that have a lot of cooldowns. Demon Hunters typically don't. We have a few that we could. That I'm not sure if that was noise you're gonna pick up. Obviously, if you have 12 on cooldown, this is the power to take. One of your possible powers or upgrades to it is you cast a devastating ring of fire after killing 100 enemies. In previous season 25, unless they patched it, it can one hit kill a Rift Guardian, regardless of what tournament level it was. The trick was to have it detonate at you can't choose when to detonate it. It's when you hit the 100 enemies. So normally you want to get it pretty close, like 97, 98, maybe 95, I don't know. And you're hoping for the Rift Guardian to spawn some ads, little monsters or whatever. And then when those get defeated, it counts towards that 100. You hit 100, your ring detonates. And then, of course, your ring detonates, I think, pretty close to you. So you gotta be pretty close to the Elite Guardian. I forget what the range is. It's like 40, whatever it is. It's like 20 or 25. Like you get to make sure that if you know about the proc, get as close to the Guardian as you can. So if it does proc, you're guaranteed that those rings will hit the Rift Guardian and destroy. It says elite, but remember, Rift Guardians, whether it's regular rifts or greater rifts, count as our elites. Your attack speed and critical hit chance are increased by 5% for each skill on cooldown. And the last one, if 3 or more skills are on cooldown, your lightning and fire skill damage are increased by 50%. So you see where is it? It's not there, but I've seen someone, they're rolling lightning and fire skill damage on weapons instead of the other one that's poison. Because somehow I think it was buffing that. I don't know if it's supposed to or not. Yeah, I'm looking at the top. It does not. I don't see anything that says fire, but I know people were rolling that. Yeah, this is your helm. So was it one of these? Yes, here. Yeah, your fire deal 20 to 25% more damage. Stuff like that. So Saint of Sin. Did they all do it on weapons? So this works with the weapon soul shard. Remember, when you get soul shards at level 0, it is worth a rank 50 augment. I think a Whisper of Atonement or a gem level 50. You can't salvage it. You have to put it in the cube like you would have a level 50 gem. Same way. And it's plus 25 levels for every level upgrade. So rank 0 is a 50 augment. A rank 1 would be 75. A rank 2 would be 100. And a rank 3, the max, is a 125, which is the max you can get from doing Petrified Screams. You know, the Whisper of Atonement, without upgrading it to Greater Rifts. So, those are easy to get. Remember, Hellforged Embers drops in a level 70 game or higher, usually from Rift Guardians and stuff. I can't remember if it is from any elite, but normally it's Rift Guardians that you want to farm. And then an added bonus, I don't know if they have it in here. Let's get to that in a second. That if you salvage them, now you lost your columns of spare chance, for that one at least, that they create a gem. And I know it's going to be hard to find them, but this is each of the levels that I'm not going through. That, yeah, 50%. Basically, they give you either 3 Imperial gems of the same color, random color when you salvage it, of any of the, say 5 colors, but the color gems, not the legendary gems. Like I said, any of the colored gems. And there's a chance for it to be a one flawless royal gem. So instead of 3 Imperial, I'm pretty sure it's royal. That's what I was looking for. And it's like one of those things. As I'm trying to find it. I'm not finding it. But it's the next higher level one. So maybe it's just royal and not flawless royal. But you only get one of it. Remember, for each of the soul shard that you salvage, it's a random color. So times 3 or times 1. The next one will have a different, well, it could be the same color, but any of the colors again randomly, either 3 or 1. And remember, gems are worth money at lower level, as well as the gem that we need for the altar. We need a diamond. But then, next question, well, where do I find these soul shards? So, Absence of Anguish, any Act 1 boss. Act 2 is Dragon of Lies, except for Lydian. Remember, he's out on a lot of things. Act 3 is Stain of Sin, or Fragment of Destruction, and there's a note when two soul shards have a 50% chance to drop either both or none. I don't know. I can't remember if I already got one or the other. I want to say it's usually you get none. And then Act 5 has a Shard of Hatred. So keep that in mind. And when we get in the game, I'll tell you now, but I'll show you later. If you're playing season because PTR is not up and stuff like that, remember sets have changed over the last few seasons. We're getting another nerf and buff to a lot of sets. As an example, Natalia used to be Reign of Vengeance. Now it's the Spike Trap build because the set changed. So keep that in mind. You might want to look. You can look at previous season for a build, the previous season for the altar. Like maybe some things might change because the altar, for example, has a speed boost. So now you don't need to have speed multipliers on your gear. And then season 25 was the season of soul shards. So look at that to see, okay, what build was using what soul shard, and that obviously it's only in helm and weapon. And remember, if you're able to dual equip a weapon, it can only be equipped. The weapon ones can only be in one weapon, and not both. So you put a colored gem in the other weapon, usually the crit hit gem, but you know, some classes might want topaz or something for thorns. But you could only equip one with the soul shard in it. And remember, it's free to go into the blacksmith, not to buy the jeweler, to take it back out. If you do have to get a better one, you don't have to sell it as the weapon to get it back out. Just unequip it. Free of charge by the jeweler. Okay. Let's go back in. We talked about that. Next would be ultra rights. Because if it didn't kick me out of the game, we're still in town. There's a little skimmer here. I did try doing a video, so I only got one usable part, but I do have the altar level on the first one. It's gonna take 10 white items, and then of course here I have the blacksmith level 10. Remember I told you about emeralds, gems are worth money. So I got some money. I can't get rid of it, unfortunately. But luckily I'm down to just having one reusable part. I did have multiple accounts, but the other one was doing seasons or PTR seasons, so it cannot. The altar is much further progressed. So this is where I was trying to say earlier, catch 22 is you need, if you're not doing a challenge rift to open up some classes, and I have some guild mates that will, for example, they might want the Grasp of Essence for the Necro, level 1 gambling, the Crusader wants one of the shields, stuff like that. It's like step 15. So the season starts on a Friday, it resets on a Monday. For me, it's 4 p.m. Eastern, standard time, even though EST, we're no longer EDT. I'm in New York area, well, that time zone. So California would be 3 hours less, so they're at 1. 4 minus 3 is 1. But if you're in Canada, I know my one buddy, he's actually, so at 4, he's still at 5, which I would love, because I would have time after work to do my challenge rift on, say, a Monday, but I'm just trying to give you a general zone. If you're in different areas, I was between 4 and 1, depending on where you live. California is 1, and New York time zone is 4 p.m. at night on a Monday. If you're Europe, I have no clue. Anywhere across the seas. I only know about, Canada because a couple buildmates are from that area. Alright. So normally the trick is when you're leveling, we're not going through the whole leveling thing. I hope I'm not supposed to. Is you want to still from your follower. And obviously the scoundrel for the demon hunter would have the bow. Templar would have your swords and shields, and your enchantress would have your staff. Normally she has a javelin, but I think some classes might have a staff or something they can't do it. Um, every class spawns slightly different. The problem is though too, if I do not talk to them, I at level 18, their weapons they're carrying will upgrade to like around a level 10 weapon. And I know, for example, the enchantress gets a level blue staff, which is helpful to know if you don't talk to them. That in the second stage of the altar, you need blues if you haven't gotten it. Not a problem for season 30 because of visions. But you can get to them. But leveling, if you have not gotten what you need to get your level 70 weapon, and you're not doing the challenge with cast to gamble for it, or use it a king with the cube and all that good stuff, don't talk to them, and it will upgrade. Even if you take the flower weapon, for example, I say take for the scoundrel, and I give it back to him, because I talked to him, it will not upgrade. And I think I was doing that video before, at level 18, running a group might be harder, because remember, when you game updates, it takes 15 minutes, for example, say, for this to respawn different stuff. And sometimes some things stay, and other things, they all new stuff. That it's quicker to leave game at level 18 and come back into it, and you're guaranteed the game updated to know, hey, I need to give this Templar his upgraded weapon. If you stay in the game and you talk to him, there's a very high chance he does not upgrade, and because you talk to him, he will no longer upgrade. Alright, so this is the catch-22, so this is where I might have two characters. One, see, this right here might count as talking, regardless. One to steal the weapon from, and then we need to steal weapons from certain ones here to get the mats. The white mats we need to do the altar. One we need to steal the weapon to put on us because it's better than our own. Because we have no gold, we normally will be at 0 gold, and we can't buy anything from the vendor, any vendor. And then we want one, usually of our class, the catch-22, not to talk to, so his weapon will upgrade at level 18. If you don't happen to find anything better. If you're solo leveling, normally you didn't find you have a level 15 weapon, or it might not be as good as that level 10 weapon that they get. You might have a level 8 weapon still. I don't know. Depends on your drop, and because you have no gold, it's hard to buy, and you don't have any mats to craft. However, with visions, remember, just go anywhere in the world except for rifts and greater rifts. Anywhere, fill the measure is pretty good. You have to defeat X amount of enemies. A vision will spawn. You go into it, and even below level 70 or 61 for death breaths, at level 1 you can get death breaths. Soul shards drop below level 70. At level 1 you can get one. It's a 50% chance for it to drop, and it's a coin flip. So the second time you defeat it does not mean, for example, leave game and come back, it counts as starting over. Does not mean you're guaranteed to get a second time. 50% on a coin flip, does not mean after a second or third you're guaranteed to get it. It could still take 10 tries to get it once. Could be 100 tries. If you're doing that and it's always fail, 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 I would play a lot. I don't know, I would play a lot because you're failing, but you could be getting a bunch in a row. Maybe then I'll play a lot. Alright, so since we started talking to this scoundrel, I'm going to finish talking to him. Remember, in a group, you don't have to hire to get their weapon. Just hit inventory and skills, take their weapon. It is 110% better, even though it looks like it's double. It should be, technically, it's double, so it's 100 plus 100. So that's why it's 100%, instead of saying 200%. That's better. We can't give them this because it says Demon Hunter. We can try what we want. Even later, I get a better one, so this ends up being better. I put it in. I can't, if I give it back to him, because I talked to him, he will not upgrade. I usually try anyway, so it's a C. And I'll see that one's better. And this one's worth 2 gold. You can't salvage it because it was given to us. It's funny how the flower weapons you can salvage, but not our own. And then normally what we're going to do is go to Templar. if you're a Necro, you're taking hers. I'm being nice, and I will take... I need to show you that you'll get your 10, but I don't need them, so it's hard. And then take her weapon because I'm not using, because eventually I'm going to hire the Templar. Because I took his weapon, I take one, one's not enough. You need 10 whites. I'm going to show you. I have one white. I have nothing else. One white. It should be 0. Disclaimer. So we're going to go in. We're going to salvage. But she had a dagger? Did she this time? Where are you? Oh, is it? Stupid. Templar had the javelin. But she has a dagger. And all the ones she might have a staff. So we're going to salvage just her dagger. We got 8. 8 out of 10. So, just because I know... Crap. And that gave you another 8. So now, instead of 16, we have 17. So, example, say it would be 16. We need to give 10, we'll have 6 extra. That's why I wasn't going to do that one, but... Right off the bat, you come down to your altar. Some of this is about the altar. I'm trying to bait how much. And then you would hit your gateway, your kill streak timer is double, hit sacrifice. It takes 10 white mats. The next one you're going to pick is no level requirement, which takes 15 blue, 20 white, and a flawless diamond or greater. It says flawless diamond or greater, right? So how low is a flawless diamond? Apparently level 34. I'm pretty sure it's 34. So let's go to combine gems. Let's go all. Let's look at diamonds. So a flawless diamond is here. Right? So if you need to craft a bunch of low level ones, you could eventually get there. However, stats are hit 34. Do a boss bounty. Example. Find one that you go here. You can go pick a boss. Let's see if Zone will happen to be it. Happens to be that. See how Zone has exclamation point. Skeleton King. Make sure it could be another one in his area, but this is Zone Cool. Example, we can tell here the Butcher is one. Queen, even though it has an exclamation point, the Queen's dessert, I think it's like people, what do you call it, spiral up cocooned. And sometimes they could be goblins. Or it could be nothing. Or it could be an elite. You never. So just pretend we did that one. So now we're doing a soul shard for the next part. That's the trick to this without being level 34. This is where it's a coin flip. Every time you do this, I'll do it once and I'll probably pause because it takes forever. And that's the whole point about leveling though. It's so faster to get what you want from here than hitting level 34. Unless you have a really good group or you have a group that did take the Challenge Rift bag. Remember, at low level, you probably want to destroy the Guardian, so when they get defeated, they blow up, and then we're still waiting, because sometimes he drops it after he explodes. So, none. Okay. Now, here's the thing here. Is it faster to hit escape, leave game, or to port to town? I'm going to try to do this quickly. It's going to take 2 seconds. Off the timer, because I have a pretty quick PC. So, port to town, escape, leave game. That's 10. It's almost done, so 2 seconds. That's 6. So it might have been 8. So, I'm going to hit escape, it'll go out. So, which one's faster for you? Depends how fast you're... I swear sometimes, like, waiting for it to count down to 10 just seems like forever. It seems like it's a minute. We're going to try this again. It doesn't have to be a boss bounty, it just happened to be. Remember, we can do any of them. So if you want to run to Magda or Asmondote, by all means. But Zoltan Cole is just the fastest because you teleport right to him, essentially. What? A few yards away. That's what I meant to say earlier. Oh, that's the other thing we need to see. What was the Act 5? Path of the Drown is what it's called. Path of the Drown is it? Path of the Drown. And it could have um, Curse Pete. Now remember, we leveled up a little bit. Now is it faster to kill Zoltan Quill first or to kill the Guardians? I have to know sometimes at this level it's still faster. So if we didn't do expert to get rid of the Guardian, so they because they're in melee. I was trying to hit the Q for a potion and it did not work. I'm not lowering it down to normal yet. Because obviously, I don't know if tournament level increases the chance of it dropping or not. But I swear you get a lot better at C16 and drop chance than you do at low level because of magical chance being higher. But I still think it's 50%. Feels like it's 10%, but still no. But one more time, then I'm about to pause. See, it feels like forever. One thing I will mention while we're going into this, an unannounced season theme. It's not really a theme. It's a recurring event. December 31st starts the Darkening of Tristram event, which is Act 1. Old Ruins, you'll see like a, the Diablo pentagram. You go there, you go into it, people's done it. You'll find it when you get there. It's like once you get in, to go like how this would be to go, you know, down. I don't know if it's really technically south or not, because how they change the maps around and depending on what actor you're in. And then because prediction of when the season starts, I have a feeling it's going to start before New Year's, but I think not during Christmas, not before Christmas. Because with a 1 week PTR, it's about over. We have, if you're lucky, the end of this week. That depends when you listen to it. Say this ends on Tuesday. If we're lucky by Thursday, we'll say, hey, here's this, the patch notes, this, season ends in 2 weeks. And then normally what that happens is, I'll show you what time, because I'm recording late, I'm doing this again. So this PTR started here, I'm on a Sunday, it says a week, but it could be a day or so, depending on when they do it, and then, it could be any time that day too. Hopefully they announce it by Thursday. We have, season ends in 2 weeks. It's not always 2 weeks full. What they'll do is it always ends on a Sunday, so they'll go 1, 2, even though that's technically not a full 2 weeks. It's a week and a half or whatever. Patch will hit like on Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday, but normally it's Tuesday late afternoon, evening, and then the season starts on the 29th. Which would be nice then because season starts on the 30th, or that Tristram event starts on the 31st. However, you're supposed to collect cultist pages or something, and then with that, cultist pages in season, they're account bound, but we do it non-season because for the achievement, if you haven't got it done, they're not account bound. So you can trade them, you get credit for getting the pages, and then you don't have to do nothing with it. You're right back to another player. It isn't like you have to salvage them or put them in the cube or anything. You just gotta say, hey, you found it. Basically, some when in your inventory it counts. A lot of people keep them until they know all of them are done, or you go through and check off. And then normally on third, see last year the 31st was a Saturday and the third was on a Tuesday. So I'm saying normally it's like 3 or 4 days later the portal actually opens up. You can go in there. So this is where there's speculation. Is the season going to start on the 29th? And then we have a few days, for example, say that Monday, and then that Wednesday we can go into it? Or are you going to wait until the 5th? So we're guaranteed to be in that. Either way, this will be at the end of December. So it's end of March. So then you have another one in March, at the end of March. This last whole week is, what is it, Mad King's Monarch or something? It's the one that's in Act 3? Right before the cube. Ruins of Sesseron. And then on the second level, before you get that, there's a King's Throne. And when you go in the King's Throne, the king will go into that portal with you, and he'll defeat most of the enemies. At low level, he'll defeat most of the enemies for you, just to hang back, let him defeat them, maybe group up, drag them, kite them to that king, and he'll defeat them for you. Not really good for hardcore, but for softcore, it's a nice leveling strategy. At low level, at higher levels, you obviously would defeat them yourself a lot quicker. So it's another event that's going to happen probably in the season. So we're going to have 2 events happen in one season. Normally it's one or the other. Because I doubt with that, they're going to say, oh, because they say 3 months. Then if it's ending on the 1st, it won't start until April 1st, which wouldn't happen because it's not Friday. So what I say. I see that being the last week, or they'll go into this week, because how they do it. First was a Monday, so I don't see that, season start on the 1st. But the whole then it's every 3 months. Add the plus or minus week between end of season, start of season. But normally if it ends on a Sunday, it starts on a Monday or Friday. But it could be the following Friday, which is technically a week and a half. It's either 4 days, or it's, whatever this happens to be, probably 12. It's not even a full 2 weeks. For the way the season ends, and of course, when they announce it. Alright, so one more time. Let's go in here. Let's see if we get one. So I can talk about it. Going cool. Because I see the time. So I'm redoing it because last video took way too long. I went 145. You see where we're at? We're at the hour mark. Slightly over the hour mark actually, but you're gonna live information. That's on this for speed runs. You might just want to put that on normal. If I was doing visions, I would be on normal. Where I don't have Vault yet. I was like right there. I was hoping. Sometimes it seems like when there's a long battle, you typically get it. One more or not. Do this. Oh, heals. Yeah, we want to purge heals. Because that's what I'm talking about is the altar, but it's nice to show you what I'm talking about here. You get the gem from the soul shard by salvaging it. You get a gem. If it's not the right color, you can sell it for gold, and that's how I upgrade my blacksmith. You see how much money there. I'm level 1. I know I deleted a character. It wasn't much higher. It's like well, it was probably about level 6. So, the blacksmith up until 10 only takes gold, no other mats, and then at level 10 he needs. And obviously, if this is 50, he needs a lot less. The 3 gems I didn't get, although you get 3 of them, they're worth 90k. If you get the other one, it's worth 900k. So I was able to upgrade him really quickly. And then all I need to do now is a vision to get him up to 10, 11, 12. I can't remember if he needs one at 12 or not. I think it's just one for 10, and then the other two are free. Mystic is totally free, and the Jeweler at level 12, might be 10 also, it needs it. But normally you get to level 70 for deck to even worry about your gem upgrades. I wouldn't even worry about it till you hit 70. Alright, last try here. We might have to do some magic. Basically means I pause the video, form it, and then do it. But even on one, it's not guaranteed to drop the diamond, because normally I get rubies. But if I wanted rubies for XP, I would be getting topaz. I could upgrade all my gear, but some people try to say how far you can go without upgrading your weapons. There's a chance are you didn't even get the weapon, you only got gear, like pants and armor. Or you kept getting pants and nothing else, you know. RNG. We won't worry about him, actually. But yeah, I'm hitting vault, even when I don't have vault. I'm used to my hotkeys. So I can see where he's at. Guarantee to move when you teleport when you fire your hatred spending skills. Still no. We're gonna do some movie magic here. I'm not gonna do it. But normally what happens is I happen to get one on the character I deleted before this one. I got quite a few actually. This will drop on the ground. Drag a Glide, looks like a primal. You pick it up. And obviously seeing where my stuff is. I haven't played because I couldn't get rid of all my death breaths and all that. It was hard to get rid of the whites and blues as it was. And then you see here, but this one only gives your pets. So if I was playing a turret build or playing Inna, you know, even without Inna, just playing with Mystic allies, those pets, Hydras, they all count as pets. Sometimes in the wording, followers count as pets too. But most of their damage doesn't matter. And then what happens when you salvage it, let's just show you. Let's pick some gear on. Oh, we don't have that. The quicker by didn't be in the blacksmith, so I just right click and put it on, for example. If it doesn't show you a difference, that means you don't have one equipped. For example, this glove, for example, so it doesn't show me a difference, like where this one shows me. Of course, no helm. But we can salvage the rest. That's showing if you salvage everything. It will not salvage it. This is only worth 2 gold. You have to manually hit salvage and click on it. We got a red ruby. So see, you give me an Imperial ruby. It's worth 90k. And then we'll walk over here to a merchant and just right click and sell. However, there's another trick with that. If you keep getting the same colors, you might have to sell some. So keep some until you know what colors you need. Is remember, you talk to her on miscellaneous. The Essence of Diamond costs 500k. You buy that, and always gold just by doing that. I could have got rid of this gold too, except for the altar. There's not enough gold. I don't have enough to do anything. Try and spend all my gold. I don't have enough. Eventually, that it comes to. Okay, I'm low on gold now. Sweet. And we just throw it on the ground. I'll probably just hit delete character, but, you know, it'll be quicker. Either way, I'm just trying to show you that you get 9 of these, right? You need 9. That's how it works. You have to have the cube, though. Go, and then you talk to the cube, which we haven't run and got yet. You can tell. That's why I'm trying to show this for a leveling video. That you get 9 of one color, and it will make it with that in the cube. Put this, and then just right-click on your gems, and then right-click on that, and then hit transmute. It'll make them into white, turn them into diamonds. 9 turns into 9. So if you have 9 of these, it'll give you 9 of those. Unfortunately, there's no lesser recipe. It has to be a multiple of 9. Obviously, the trick is normally get as high as you can, a multiple of 9, so they're at higher level, so you don't have to worry about, you know, doing the other gems. But so that's the case. And then of course you want to keep farming, you know, either till you get a diamond or you get enough of one color that you can do this trick. And then what I personally would do is I would probably keep some emeralds. Remember, if you hit, is it Alt? No. Control. Shift. There it is. Do it again. Shift plus left click. For example, I can say 1 and I can move it right here. I can then keep 1 and then sell 2. Or keep 3 because that would be the upgrade for the jeweler for the next level. Or when you're done leveling and how many you have left. So you decide to sell some, or you decide to keep some. For example, I want to put, like example, 2 in the inventory. Or say it was 3 and 2, but the numbers here is 2. I can do that. Then if I do this, it combines. So number shift, left click. I'll say how many? 1. I can do this. So you see 1's only worth 30k. Then that's at 60. It's not 90k each. It's 90k divided by 3, which we've seen was 30k. And then the other one's worth, like I said, instead of 90k, it's worth 900k. It was like 875 or something without doing it. Now, I don't know if the blacksmiths will tell me what the sell value is about upgrading some. Let's say all, because we do have ruby. I don't have any money now. Come on, ruby. Oh yeah, see. We have 3. We don't have any money. That's 300k to upgrade it. But we don't need a flawless Imperial. We only need a flawless. Well, it's actually a diamond, right? Which is up here. Which is a low level. Which, why am I have to look. Because maybe they don't start dropping to a certain level. I'm pretty sure. See, without getting one. Anyways. Let's go back to the altar so I can end this. New Tristram. As of right now, it's not in non-season MPTR. Altar does not exist, but it's supposed to exist when season starts. But once again, I don't think by upgrading the altar in non-season it's guaranteed to have it upgraded for a season when it's available. But some others that already have most of that are going to upgrade just to see, because they talk about it. It might be at the end of the season where they say, okay, from now on, like I said, I think it started the video, that you won't have to upgrade your altar for every season. Why? Because getting down here, we get to sacrifice. It's 1 primal. Another one's 2 primals, and say the last one's 3 primals. The total is 6 primals, regardless of what order you go in. That's how the cost is. We get to have up to that unlocked in order to touch it. That it's not worth the 6, primals you're losing, because you're only guaranteed 1 when you hit level 70 solo, and that's per game mode. And I'm pretty sure the way it works, if you do it in season softcore, But you do it in season solo Southbound, you're not guaranteed a primal. Only if you do it in hardcore, and that's either season hardcore, or hardcore solo Southbound. It's confusing on the game modes now. Because technically two of them, they merge together, but at the same time they're tracked separately. But if you get one thing, Haedrig's Gift or the a primal, it doesn't count. It won't count for the other one, but they are tracked separately. It's weird. So you see here, we got this one. We want to go for here. So getting blues and whites is gonna play. You see, we get, well, I didn't get those the jet thing there. I do go do visions. I want to get my boosts and lights. Farming Zone Coal is going to give me my boosts and lights. You see, it's not an issue. It's this flawless diamond or greater. Diamond of flawless or greater. That's all it says. So flawless diamond. It does not have to be imperial. It does not have to be royal. It's a flawless diamond. Because remember the other ones are higher upgrades. I do not know why. Alright, so we're doing altar. We can't do the altar, so let's bring up the altar screen, which is here. We're going to reset just so we're... So the first one is 10 reusable parts. You couldn't see that, unfortunately. You have to pick double kill streak, which is when you're leveling from solo, you go out and defeat a bunch of monsters in a row. What it does is it sends a time. I forget the time what it was. Say you have 5 seconds between each pack to hit another enemy. You have to kill them, you just have to hit another enemy before that timer expires. It's now double. So if it was 5, now it's 10 seconds between you have to hit again. It helps out a lot. It really does. Even if it's not much of a number difference, it does. It might have been 10, so it went to 20. Next one is a flawless diamond or greater, 15 arcane dust and 20 reusable parts. In season 30, because of this, we can get it before level 34. Regardless, if not 34, go to a boss bounty, and he like so cool that had the exclamation point and said that he was a boss bounty. Go defeat him, and you have a chest, as you see on the one. Stuff's in it at different game levels of you, and of course, the higher the tournament level, the higher the R&D, what's in it, better loot. But at 34, apparently, I think that's when the one gem drops, or it's enough of the one below that we couldn't see that you crapped into that. I can't remember, but it's 34. And then normally once we'll pick no level requirement, and then farm visions. We'll get our depth breaths that way. At the end of the vision, there's bounty mats. There's more, per tournament level that you're playing on and your game level. I think it's actually working. It didn't matter if you're just like greater with blood shards. That if you do a T6, it doesn't matter if you're playing on, level 10 or, well, you couldn't do greater rift on that, but blood shards. But say from regular rifts, you get blood shards right at the end. There's an RNG on the amount. Say it runs between 10 and 15 for that. That I don't think it mattered if you're level 5 or level 70 with Paragon. You still got the same amount for doing that level tournament. For example, say I play it on hard, or tournament 1, or tournament 6, which is the lowest, the highest I could go, being level 70, or before level 70. I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. Anyways, so normally we would be done for the season if it wasn't for season 30. Greater Rift Key. Well, technically, is not season 30. The season 30 is only for that soul shard before level 34. Greater Rift Keys is from Visions. Death Breaths are from Visions. So now what's the one you pick? Either you're going to move down here as fast as possible. I like permanent death pools. However, people say that's not the way to go because it only benefits you at higher GRs, but I like them better. The reason is you get one more because this will take. You wasted one here, and then you still have either this one or this one to hit here, right? So this will be, you see, number 5. I get rid of this. I go movement speed, which is hindered because Paragon points 0.01 or something movement speed per Paragon point. Wherever it happens to be, which we gotta look. Are we still in the game? I don't know if I can even look at Paragon. Movement speed. Oh, it's a 0.5%. And we can't tell. Oh, I'm in a season, right? Oh, yeah. 50, 50. This is regular Paragon. Someone said it wasn't for that season. Because maybe you go up to 200 normally in these other categories. Huh, I didn't even notice that. Anyways, let's finish this video. um, because we can get greater rifts by doing visions, you gotta find a level that has greater rift bosses in it. Even at level 1, they're gonna be tough. Because of their affects and stuff. But they drop a greater rift key. Each one drops a key. I'm not sure if it's what's the chance are per level, but I've always gotten some, regardless of what level I was. So, because normally there's like minimum 3 up to 5 of them, I think. Um, and normally you can get one level, you can get another level in a row with them, or it could be 5 levels deeper, it could be 10 levels deeper. Just like the one with the whole goblin pack, the whole levels goblins with one monster to, to spawn the vision, or the next level of the vision, because obviously it doesn't. So it's easy to know what you have to kill for the vision portal for the next level. Or it could be a couple, a handful, and then rest of monsters. Um, but normally they're not together. Elites and like regular elites are, but not with guardians. It has to be with guardians, not elites. Elites drop uh, that press. Okay. If you heard anything, that was my water heater. Um, any class specific helm. Once again, because of visions, which is not season 30, it's going forward. Season, you just gotta hope of Kane. You have to get 25 death press and hope you get it. Remember, it has to be level 70 item because Kadala, if you're level less than level 70, well, it could be 60. Certain set pieces do drop at 60 because that's before Reaper of Souls. 61 and higher is Reaper of Souls. But certain class sets, they only have certain ones. Like example, I know Waste set I think existed in non-Reaper of Souls as well, Reaper of Souls, but some of the other class sets like God set didn't exist before Reaper of Souls because it obviously just was made a few seasons ago. So you won't have it in non-Reaper of Souls, so you would never drop out level 60. It's a level 70 item. So you need a level 70 Hope of Cain recipe, which you need 25 deck breaths plus some other mats. It's just white, yellow, blue. It doesn't require any bounty mats. And hopefully you did it. Obviously, you're not going to get on the first try, unless you're very lucky, because normally it's going to be any other set piece, or any other helm, like Broken, Lyrics, the junk ones, all the other ones we don't care about, except for the set piece. But when you finally do get it, I don't know how many tries, it could take 1, it could take 100. I would assume within 10 I can't even say in 10. Normally, if you're going to get it within like 3 or 4, or it's going to take you a while. We now have that done. So before level 70, we could have this done. Right? So we're going to pick shield. I mean, take what you want. I'm just showing you how far we can get And then here, 20 Forgotten Souls. Okay, if you're doing visions, you're going to get, you know, either Forgotten Souls directly dropped, or you're going to get legendaries that you can, you know, destroy. If you got it and you're with a buddy and, you know, they didn't, or you didn't, and they did, feed each other the legendaries, because as long as you're in a group when you got them, they're exchangeable for the 2 hours. If you're not in a group when you got them, they're permanently account bound. Of course, so it's all fun. You can't do that. 20 Forgotten Souls, and then 10 each of the bounty match. Remember, at the end of the vision, there is a chest that drops each of the bounty mats, each of the acts bounty mats. The number is based on your level, tournament level, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I'm not sure on that, whether it's based on tournament level or your level. But it does seem to go up as we go up in level, so I want to say it's based on level. Now, pick one. What are you going for? Because you're pretty much, this is your last one you can pick. Example, do you want to do your pulls? He's about to kick out, see, but hits it. I'm going for double bounties as soon as I can, so I want to pick this one. We are now stuck until level 70. Why? You can farm at tournament 1 or higher before level 70, because all it requires, I'm pretty sure it only requires level tournament 1, does not have to be level 70, that the key wardens will drop the keys. However, you see this is Lurch, Regret, Loud Prudeness, Idle Terror, Heart of Fright. That's not from key wardens. That's from doing the keys from the key wardens. This is called doing the Ubers. Ubers, the portal will only spawn if it's a level 70 game. And I'm pretty sure you can't go in it if you're not level 70. I can't remember on that, but I know the game has you level 70. That means somebody in your party has to be level 70. Like I said, I'm not sure if you can go in it if you're not 70 or not. I can't remember, but the game itself has to be 70. It says a level 70 portal, so I have a feeling that blocks you. So we are now at our point until we hit level 70. But once we get that done, I'll pick double bounties. Why? Going forward, Ripper's Wrap, beat Mathel, about level 70 or higher on any tournament level. I'm just thinking that right off the top of my head because I know it, because everyone always asks me. And I won't when I do it. Any game if you're level 70. You can't come Mathel on your level 6 and the person's 70. No, if someone's power level you have to level 70 for it to drop for you. But it can be any tournament level. ESP Tournament 1, they changed it. And someone's like, no, it never was. Okay, Mandela effect. It was, either way, you have to be 70 for it to drop for you. Right? So once you get Reaper Wraps, what are you going to do? You're probably either going to work for double death breaths. I'm going to pick CC immunity so I can not get pulled in so much. I think it's, that's possibility. CC immunity. Which they may or may not be changing that. That's the whole thing. It seems what was in the patch notes. Because eventually we need to work for, I think, is it this shrine? Yeah. Shrine effect. And then resource cost. And then 35 yard reduction. I think that's the worst one. Because eventually I want DBs. I want progress orbs. I want auto DBs. And I want the auto pickup salvage one for the pets. That means they will auto salvage any blue, white, or yellow item that I do not craft or is dropped by another player. It's usually if it drops for you, it would automatically salvage it for you. So that's what I'll do. I'll pick that one next, which costs 30 Forgotten Souls. Just 1100 blood shards. Remember, you start with 500 cap. the way it works is 500 base plus 10 for every GR level past that. So if you have 1100 blood shards, minus 500 as your base, that's what your base blood shard cap is 600. Divided by 10, because it's 10 per level, that means you need to do a GR 60 in order to unlock the 1100 blood shard cap. Does not mean you're getting, when you do that 60, you're getting 1100. That means you unlock the cap. It means you can hold that much. Because for the altar, you have to sacrifice that amount at the same time. You can't pay it in payments. You have to give it to it all at once. So then you have to, if you did 60, do it a few more times, and I think it's 5 for each one of them. If you do that level, if you do it 5, it's a 5 to 10, something like that. You'll depending on where you're at in here on blood shard cap, you'll typically get it. I mean, of course, if you do higher, you'll fill your cap faster. And remember, when you get 1100, and if you're by yourself, no big deal. But if you're in a party, do not talk to Ursula. Pick up your blood shards, go about the town, go to your altar, which is in Act 1, run all the way around, turn in your blood shards, and then teleport back to town or back to that. So either teleport to a player if you know the player is still on it, or run back to your portal and go through your portal, and then talk to Ursula, because they cannot close it until you talk to Ursula and upgrade all your gem levels, which is up to 5. I'm not getting mad at you, but just tell them, hey, I'm upgrading my altar real quick with blood shards. They'll understand. If it's only like 10 or less than 50, just leave them on the ground. Just let them close it, run up there, and then you can make them wait for you. Hitting accept if they pop on real super quick. Ring of World Grander. This is what we did double bounties pretty quickly. Ring of World Grander, as the double bounties is, it does not give you double bounty match, but it does is the cash you get from doing a bounty. For example, Act 1 bounty, you get 2 of those caches of the same tournament level you did it in. You do Act 2, you get 2 of those now when it's turned in by talking to Terrio in town. Right? It is not double when you open it. It just gives you 2 caches. So that means double the chance for a Royal Round Grander to drop. Right? Because remember, it's Act 1 and Act 4. Because 4 is all acts rewards. Act 1 is Ring of Royal Grander. And I'll get confused because 4 has Avarice because of another, I think 3 or something has Avarice. Ring of the Avarice band. Alright, so we'll pick that. So we're going to pick all these shrines. Regardless of here, you can pick this. You need to get your level 70 solo done. You could get it when you're doing here. And the thing is, I'm about to tell you though, is you will never ever get double primals without doing your 70 solo. Why? That was 60. We pick something. Wherever you want to pick. I'm going to probably pick Passability. Right? And then Death Breath for a World Grander, right? What's the next one you're going to pick? 5% damage. You want to go for here so when you get it. So to me, it doesn't matter because there's still a bug with Kadala that she still doesn't get everything you need. So I probably want to go over this way because it's tough here. Well, you want to go for double DBs, so go back 1. Or if you want to go for auto DBs, so at least you're picking up on when you have them. It doesn't really matter. You can go for your progress orb. Those are the ones. Some people are going to say you go for your Kadala. So when you're gambling, at least you have a chance to get double legendaries. And then if you get one, this is usually the shrine you want to pick first. Because it happens when you drink a health potion, you get a random shrine effect. Now some of them have been nerfed or whatever. Especially the power part. You won't get power no more. Right. And then a flawless. So this is what I'm saying. You're about stuck. See, I'm about stuck. Because this is okay. Bounty Mats, Swirl Emerald. Where am I going to go? Probably either going to go for auto DBs or DBs. I'll probably go 5% damage, then go for auto DBs, because I can go for progress orbs too, because I need to get 2 here. This is, you do what you want. I'm just saying, it's a general rule. This is where I'm going to get stuck. Ramanati's gift, I can't even say it, and it's hard to find. I'm stuck there for a while, until I get it. But say when I do get it, okay, I'm going for auto DBs. Some people, if you're still playing in groups, because DBs don't drop in greater rifts, only in regular rifts, you might want to go for your progress orb. It depends if you're solo or in a group. 1,300 blood shards. 1,300 minus 500 is 800. 800 divided by 10 is 80. So you have to do a GR 80. So even in order for you to get double primals, you have to have all 26 ultra points unlocked, as well as all the potions unlocked. Therefore, you need 6 primals to get double primals. So even with that concept here alone, and then here, you can never ever have, get double primals by hitting your GR 70 solo. And then Wings of Terror, get rid of it. That does not exist. As far as we know from they posted, they did not say whether you or not, but they just have double primals for the reward. They don't have Wings of Terror. That was leaving 28 reward for doing it when they asked you to do it. Right? Petrified Scream, you may not get one. Example here, by progress orbs. Petrified Scream, you're gonna need at least 2. There's ways to get around it. You need 1 to sacrifice to the altar, obviously, and you need 1 eventually. You need to do Whisper Atonement 125. You notice it is a ways away, since we can see what it is, that the second one, if we group up, pity solo Southland people, and remember the altar tracks differently on solo Southland as, regular season people. There's 2 separate tracks, just like your season journey, unless they fix it, that we have a ways to go. So if we group up, like I was saying, if someone else has a Petrified Scream or is active in chat, someone has one, get to the wave 125, you'll get a 125 Whisper Atonement. That's the highest you can get. So then we only get to rank, wave 126, the guaranteed, you get a 125 Whisper Atonement. Unless somebody wants to say, I'm not worried about the altar yet, and when he has his first one, he does it for you. But at this level, are you just barely doing GR 80? Are you actually more powerful than that or not? Can you clear a GR 125 even in a group? This is like, I don't know, I'm just saying, just sacrifice it. Wherever you are, just sacrifice it. Unless you came in later in the season. And then, what would I pick? I'm probably going for double DBs. I don't know, if I'm doing GRs now, I might want to go for permanent XP pools. There's a thing about that they don't recommend it until later. But I want to go for double DBs as fast as I can now. Then challenge with cash. This is where I'm saying, depending if you take permanent health pools or not, you see? This challenge with cash will give me my DBs. Right? If I did not use it at the start of season, remember, at the start of season, I don't even run to go get it. I can wait till I have to step, but before Monday's reset, that's the whole point I was talking about earlier. So yeah, like 2.5, 3 days to do this, before you can do it again. If you're going to be slow, example, Miss Petrified Scream, I may not be stuck by it. Round Mind's Gift, normally I'm stuck by it, but I don't know, the Season of the Altar, Season 28, I did get one pretty quickly, like Paragon 300, and I was surprised. Normally I'm 700 or 800, if not, way up there. And I'm usually waiting for my one buddy who gets them, like, all the time, to give me one, and he didn't want to give me one. So, Ramia's Gift. So right here, Ramia's Gift. We finally got a challenge with. We still have it. We're able to go DBs. So looking at here, we pretty much got everything we possibly want. if you did not use a challenge rift. If you did, you're sacrificing one thing in here. And this is where, if I had a choice, I probably would not worry about the Kadal legendaries now that it's bugged. So when I did that, we're going back a couple steps. I can go this way for my DBs. Remember, you can't go up. Let's get rid of this one. I can't go up. I can't go here, then up. I have to go down. Example, in order to get to here, I can only go this way. Get to melee damage, I have to go permanent XP pools to get to it. I cannot go back up on it. So reminds gift. So we're here. Progress. If I'm in a group, progress orb, then auto DBs, and then challenge rifts. And this is for okay, we're not getting. We got everything, right? We got pets pick up, bounties, DBs, auto DBs, progress orbs. The only thing is Kadala. So if you used it, this is where you're at until Monday's reset. You're not missing much. However, once I do that, challenge rep is to say we're done now. For getting souls, it'll take a while. I probably definitely. Some people say there's one of these powers in here. For example, research crit and hit is good for demon hunters with guide because we crit. So we'll get a resource, which is hatred, which makes us infinitely user strength. So me personally, I would want to use that, but I personally want permanent XP pulls first. And then 1400 blood shards, once again, 14 minus 500 is 900, so that's GR 90. Okay, so what was worth this effort? If you go by people that say leave this for last, that's what I'm going to do just for it. I'll probably do 100 damage. Then Ancient Hellfire Amulet. So you get to run Ubers to get the mats and whatever, what's good for you. See, this is what we just did. So would we actually pick 100 damage? Would have been better if we got to start running Ubers to do elite damage. I know damage against elites. I know there's something different about these. Because I know they nerfed it. One was damage against elites. Decreased. Let's try to read it. Decreased damage against elites. I want to say one of them you do 5% more damage and one's like 5% less damage taken. So whatever one it is, that's probably the one I'll go. It's 5% damage. 5% damage overall, I think. Which would be all monsters. And then whatever. I'm not saying two set dungeons pretty easily. You just gotta farm all your set pieces you've been playing. Farm the gear, gamble on the ones you don't have. Use convert in the cube if you need to. If you have extra pieces of one piece, for example, like Natalia has 7 pieces, you only need 6. But you only need to put 5 on it if you have a grander. But you have to sacrifice it, so hopefully you got a second one, because you're going to need one in the cube for yourself, most likely. And if not, you're probably going to want one for your follower, so he can wear save set so you don't have to, as well as canes or whatever. But you're going to want to either one Guardian, Crimson's, Irish Child, lastly Sage. But when we hit this here, I have to mention, we get a blacksmith to level 12. I think I said mention it. You can craft your sage set. It might require some value mats, but there's run visions if I didn't mention it. Alright, ancient puzzle ring. Oh, pick something. I probably would pick crit by then. Other classes, whatever. These last ones, you're just picking whatever. Some of these aren't worth doing. Because now what's left is like, yeah, one of these probably is. Over crit. Let's say it's that one. Then Puzzle Ring, whatever. We do that one. Ancient Puzzle Ring is going to be fun. Because then we can reforge in the cube. It takes 50 Forgotten Souls plus other mats. It's a pain. Because to get one naturally to drop, you can. It's just a pain. Because this one has to level 70 also. So you can't use a level 31 alt to gamble with your blood shards for a puzzle ring because it has to be level 70. And I believe the ancient won't spawn on it anyways if it's not level 70. But I think there's two conditions for that there. One for this one level 70 altar, and then it will never be ancient if it's not level 70. Is that true though? Because I know I got a weapon. I'm trying to think if it was ancient below level 70. Can't remember. I know it was. I used to I got a legendary. I can't remember if it was ancient or not. Yeah, you have a chance for a weapon to be ancient. That's the whole trick for the level reduce, but it costs a lot of forgotten souls. So maybe it just has to be level 70 because of the altar. 500 death breaths. Oh, good thing you or your fellow has a save set, right? 10 forgotten souls. A lot of legendaries have been salvaging. So whatever, we're just finishing this up. I don't care. So this one's 1500 minus 500 is 1000. Divided by 10 is GR 100. Whatever. I don't. Oh, we should probably picked that a long time ago. We probably should have orange before all this stupid elite damage stuff. Oh, we had to do this one, so maybe not that one. Do auto orbs and then see elite damage, elite damage, elite damage. So damage taken, so that's damage taken. I'm not sure the difference is here. I can go through the forums and see, I think, because I can't remember if the Ultra was on there or not. We have the old one, but I don't feel like it. We're just picking stuff. So I remember that was GR100. Whisper Atonement now. You get to get a Petrified Scream and do it. Hopefully you get it. Whatever you pick. Any augmented weapon. Any extra whispers that you have, if you've been doing them. You can set up a weapon. I think it's 50. So if you have an extra soul shard, that's rank 0. Put it on it. It says weapon. I can't remember what level. We get to have the cube in order to look at it. It's one of the pages. I want to say weapons is 50. The other ones are like 30 and 40. I want to say weapons is 50. And remember, it has to be a weapon. It can't be an offhand, so it can't be a shield or fallacy or whatever the other stuff's called, mojo, whatever. It has to be a weapon. It doesn't have to be the one you're using. It's if you have any extra weapon. But remember, to augment a weapon, it must be ancient. So any ancient weapon you're not using, you can put for season 30, you can put a soul shard level 0 on it. Just put it in the cube with that, and then whatever gem levels. Normally, if I'm going to give it to the altar, I would use a color I'm not wanting. Example, if I'm Demon Hunter, I'm using my green on it, and Topaz red on the other ones, like that. So I would probably put Vitality on it, because I normally have a crap ton of purple. You can't put white gems on a weapon. Even though it's cooldown in the helm, it does not work for weapons. It has nothing for it. So normally I have to do Vitality. If I have not converted them with the cube recipe from Squirt into other colors, whatever color I have the most of at that time that I can make it. Because I'm going to sacrifice it. I don't get any of the stuff back. It's like, here's my augmented weapon. Now give it back to me. No, you lost it forever. You sacrificed it. So whatever. I'll definitely do correct by then. Tab of Hurting. Good luck. There's still debate in the forums for Jotaro. Pick whatever. And then 1600 blood shards. Remember, minus 500 is 1100. Divided by, that's 1100. Divided by 10 is 110. It's GR 110. So we are going to do a GR110 for that. And then hopefully you got a primal example on your 80 up here. I'm not going back. Your 1300, you definitely do it. That's GR60. Before your petrified scream, got a power. I'm not going back through all that. Then you pick this one. Then you pick this one. Then you click this guy. Wait 5 minutes, and then you'll have double primals. Well, it took 5 minutes to get the link of power, Ken. So I assumed it took that amount of time in order for you to get double primals. That's the one thing I don't like, because sometimes there's a... If it takes that long, how do we know in game? For example, which we didn't talk about, is achievements. It'd be career. For example, general special events to see what you had to do for Christmas event. Like some things in here, I don't know how it shows. Greater risk, for example. Like, I know if you got in primals unlocked, it's called Primal Souls or something. But I forget whether... Yeah, this one. And then that will show as that being unlocked. But remember, you do it in one game mode, it's still not tracking in the other game mode, and you think that you can still get a primal, and you can't. And it's funny, it doesn't even tell you that you can get a primal by doing that. You have to know that. But the thing I was going to mention, I said earlier, how do you know how to get your soul shards, what to use? I kind of quickly mentioned it, but this really, we're in the public test realm. Just remember, season 28, or technically 29, with most builds except for the ones that are nerfing. Season 28 had the altar, so you can see if they change anything based on that. And season 25 for um, the soul shard stuff. So let's go here, go to season 25 over here. When it picks it, we're in PTR. Let's say it wasn't PTR. See, this has to be loading. I can go to 9 season and do it too. So yeah. Season hardcore, solo season, and solo season hardcore. And then you see overall what the best was. Someone got kicked. I seen a video earlier, I seen someone's name. Started Hatred. Dragon Lies. Slightly unique. Yeah, Fatal Damage. That's overall. Oh, I didn't even look. Oh, it's gonna do it. I think that was Character Dreadland. Don't lag out on me. I know it was. Always time I do this, it lags out. I'm looking at another player. Oh, I'm like, hey, nothing. But then I can pick someone way down here at the bottom. Oh, not profile, not profile. Yep, L. And then there. Still there, actually. Let's see all primals. I how that works. Dragon Lies, Silver Terror. So this was using slightly different, wasn't it? No fatal damage, still the same way. But what you need to look at is whatever class you're playing overall, or specifically, for example, I want to see what the Marauder did. Remember, Marauder's getting nerfed, so it probably won't be that high. However, we have the altar compensating for most of that. It's like some other game. They're buffing one thing but nerfing the other because they're bringing something else in. Now, next season, when it's not there, oh, it is. So, yeah. But soul shards, hopefully they're not nerfing anything due to soul shards. Ah, come on. Making a video here. And I can sit there and wait, and eventually it might pop up, or it could say no. Sometimes it's faster to pick someone else. Could be what time it is, too. Servers are being lined out. Alright. I'm gonna see if I can get somebody, because it refreshed. Anguish. You know, just do that for whatever class you're playing. Just an example. Now I'll specifically choose UE set. See what they're playing. To know what I want to do. Get to alter everything. I think I put all the events, all the season stuff. Yep. I may or may not do a leveling video. I just told you everything there. That because of increase, XP, I'm gonna level super quick. That I can't even do it for God. Remember, if you're in town by the altar, just hit T.
I can't do that here.
See, you're in town. So hit M and then go hit Crystal. Instant. That was me snapping my fingers, by the way. Uh, it's instant. All right, we're done here. I'm gonna probably delete, so I don't have to worry about all that. This has been the Ryan and Raven. Thanks for watching.